So there's a lot of personal things that play a part into someone being successful in coaching, but we're willing to make these sacrifices because of our plan that we have, the passions that we have, the ambitions that we
In
have.
the game of football, wisdom's key. Listeners tuning in deep like a sea. From the pitch to the mic, we share our dreams. Voices echoing loud, hear the passion's themes. Passion and knowledge, that's our goal. Stories unfold, let's take control. From the field we rise, let the voices be heard. Every insight shared, every single word. Football's the game, but wisdom's the prize. Join the conversation.
Football is a game of moments of joy, moments of heartbreak, and moments of transformation. And from the field, we're capturing those moments and sharing the stories behind them. I'm Eddie. Welcome to a conversation with Gonzalo Carranza. From the streets of Brazil to the sidelines of America, Gonzalo's soccer journey is a true tale of triumph and dedication. Gonzalo is a true giant of the game. On this episode of From the Field, Voices of Football, we're honored to share Gonzalo's story, insight, and passion with you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Gonzalo, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast.
Thank you, Eduardo. Hope we can have a good conversation and inform and inspire, and maybe even a laugh for people that are listening to us.
Oh, absolutely. It's always a good day to talk about soccer, though, right?
That's right. Easy chat for me.
So I know you were born in Argentina, but raised in Brazil, right? We were talking about that a little bit.
Yeah.
How did that cultural background influence your passion for soccer?
Yeah, so like you said, born in Argentina, raised in Brazil. When you just speak about those two countries, we don't even need to speak about me. It's like already correlated to soccer, so it was easy. I couldn't tell you exactly how I started. I just know that ever since I was born, the sport was just in my culture, in my veins. It was our way of having fun. So like my maybe oldest memories would be me playing with my friends in the street.
Okay.
Coming home after my mom would be shouting for me to come home and finally have dinner and wash up and stuff. So a lot of playing soccer in the streets. And then it got more serious when I joined First Academy and stuff like that. And that's when it kind of developed into a more of a business thing for me, but it was always really fun. I didn't really join or fall in love with soccer because I wanted to be a millionaire. It was always, if I can be a millionaire playing soccer, great, but I just love it too much. So it was always installed in me, and it's a big part of who I am as a person as well.
Okay. What was your earliest memory you've have, playing soccer? And how do you shape your journey?
Yeah. So if I were to tell you my routine, I think that that's a good way of explaining it. My routine when I was around 12 years old, because that's the first time I got into an actual academy, Esporte Clube Bahia, which is the team Dani Alves came from. That's probably what most listeners would be able to associate it to. But I would go to school, and that was in the morning. And to be very honest, academics weren't my strength. I really
Okay.
loved recess, though. That recess time of playing with my friends, that's what we looked forward to. So it was a 30-minute period that it was like 60 kids, and it was a little 5v5 game, futsal. Schools back home don't really have like the 11v11 pitches or anything. It's a futsal court. And man, if you lost, very likely you weren't getting back on that court. It was winner stays. So we played 30 minutes, worked really hard to stay on that pitch for as long as possible. Go back to the classroom all sweaty, give the teachers a little bit of trouble. We were running late. But then run home, quick bite to eat, off to the academy. And then that was another 2 to 3 hours of my day from getting there, running practice, getting back home. But when I got back from training, I didn't go home. I went
Okay.
to after school soccer.
Oh,
After school
wow.
soccer was a little, in our community, there was also a futsal court. So all the kids that studied in the afternoon, plus the kids that maybe played in academies or just went to school in the morning, we would all join there and we'd play. And like I said at the beginning, I probably only come back because my mom was forcing me to come back. And then when I was around 18 and to 19 years old, this is me skipping forward. And after I played in a couple of different places, back in Brazil, we thought that education was still important, and I wanted to get a degree while playing. So that's when playing college soccer came about in our lives.
Okay. So one of the things that like I remember growing up, like in Mexico, was that they didn't have like the fields that they do here. Over there where there's concrete fields. Wherever you could get a little place. Is that how it was like growing up in Brazil, or do you guys have like grass field?
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to my mom about that today. My mom still lives in one of the places that we live, and it's a more a country side, more rural, if you will. Like it's not a big city where she lives.
Okay.
And there is this massive 11v11 field that um it's straight. I'm forgetting the word in English. It's straight barro.
Oh,
Um,
okay, okay.
just the mud, bro. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
isn't any grass or any, nothing prestigious, right?
Hmm.
And we were talking about how much that's changing, and obviously with technology and stuff, kids don't play in the streets as much as they used to before. But that was very much how it was. And then if we wanted a little more prestigious grass or whatever, forget about turf. Back in my day, not a lot of turf at all.
Yeah, yeah,
It was either futsal, the barro that I just told you,
yeah.
or or if you got an academy, you were playing in a nice pitch.
Okay.
Um, so that's kind of how it was, and I also think that that plays a massive part on why Brazil is a powerhouse in the sport, man.
Hmm.
Um, like you playing in these environments that I pass the ball to you, but you're not 100% sure how that ball is going to arrive at your foot
Yeah, yeah.
the surface. I think that that plays a big part into why Brazilian players are maybe technically, historically, the best players in the world, right? So I think that that also shaped our country, and it was definitely present in my childhood.
Gotcha. So, like I mentioned before, the concrete, even you with the barro and all
Yeah,
the fields that were not very like turf,
yeah,
very scraped knees,
yep.
ripped jeans, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. No, oh, man, we had the choice when we played in these little futsal, right, games with my friends and stuff. We had the choice of do I play with my futsal shoes? Which,
Okay.
man, to be very honest, was probably just like any shoes, but we
Okay,
called it
okay.
futsal shoes or whatever. Back in the day, I remember from my childhood, it was the Total 90, Total 90, and
Oh,
I
okay.
loved those futsal cleats because they had the Total 90 circle, and if you hit it properly there, then there was a Total 90 ball. It was the whole thing. Anyways, um, but there was people that would keep those cleats on, but there were some guys that thought they played better barefoot, so they
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah, yeah.
put any cleats. But absolutely, I came home with a lot of cuts in my foot and good times, man. Really good times. It's the essence of the sport, I think. So
Oh, by all means, just going out there doing it with your friends.
yeah,
I remember when like I mentioned, growing up, my mom would stand by the door and she'll whistle.
yeah,
When it was time to come in, and my friends would be like, "Hey, your mom's calling you. It's time to go in." Was that something like similar to you?
yeah. I,
Or
I
how'd
wouldn't
you?
I wouldn't get a whistle. I'd get a shout.
Okay.
Oh, come home, dinner's ready. And then it was like, clean your feet quickly, go into the table's ready. And I'm like sweating but that was definitely the case, man. And it is sad that I think that and it's not just here. I think that the world is
Hmm.
kind of losing a little bit of that. I think I'm about to be a dad soon. I think that as parents, like as a parent, as a first child parent, I think one of the things that I'm going to try to implement as much as possible is, you know, time away from technology, time just playing with your friends,
Yep.
backyard, climbing on trees. Just I feel
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like
The,
I just think that society is losing a little bit of that, and it's very much because of all this too. Which something good about this technology stuff, the phone and all that, but I think that specifically to our sport, like you maybe still see that in basketball here, in American football here, but I just don't see it present in soccer, and I think that anywhere globally now that playing time free with your friends with no rules, no parent, no coach. Like I think that we're losing that, and I think that that's also a reflection on we don't have that many skillful players anymore, right?
hmm.
When we have a Neymar, it's like oh, right, or when you
Yeah.
have a whatever, right? We can say 100 names here, but nowadays it's less and less of those,
Yeah.
right? They're really good at passing, but
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
about they're really good at defending? They're great athletes. The sport has changed, but how about that guy that can get the ball and he can sort out a game for you? just based on him being free like he was when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think that the world's producing that as much, and it's for the reasons that I just talked about.
Yeah, for me, like Ronaldinho is the first player that comes to mind. Watching him play, like there was a commercial actually with like I think it was Eric Cantona, where he said, when you're a kid, you play as a kid, you never lose that essence, and that's
Yeah.
Ronaldinho right there. He's
Yeah.
the essential essence of.
In the biggest games, when like the toughest moments as well, I can just picture games that I watched him play, and he was just smiling.
Oh, he was, yo.
And it's not that he didn't care or that he didn't work hard. It's just because that was his way of doing it, right? This
Yeah.
man was smiling in a Bernabeu that was packed, and not a lot of people can do that. So
He made it look easy too.
he did, he was impressive, man.
He was. So you joined your first academy at 12, right?
Yeah,
So
that was my
how
first.
do you can you share a particular challenging experience and how do you overcome during this time?
Yeah, man, I think that so that academy at 12, it was still in the city that we lived in, Salvador. So it was easy. I would go back home, right?
Hmm.
But then to fast forward 2 years, like from 15 years old to older, I didn't really live at home. And I think that
Okay.
that's a reality of a lot of Brazilian kids, South American kids, I think kids around the world that are playing academy football at a high level.
Hmm.
Um, like just being away from home is tough, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, like I said, so I played my those 2 years at Bahia. Then we moved to Florianópolis, which is in the south of Brazil, southeast of Brazil, southeast of Brazil. Um, and I got accepted into there was a little showcase, I want to call it showcase, and like 500 kids. Flamengo's a team from Rio that came
Hmm.
and they hosted a tryout there. And out of these 500 kids or whatever, there was a morning, there's an afternoon. I only went on the afternoon because I didn't even know it was happening. And then my friend called, he's like, man, why didn't you go? I was like, I didn't know. Got there in the afternoon and I got selected to it, myself and another kid out of all those kids there. So we went to Rio, and at I think I was around 14 to 15 years old, something like that. And that's now me getting in a plane, that's me living away from home. And that was probably the highest opportunity I ever had at a high level. Like if you think about it, back on that year, do you remember Adriano?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So he was playing there.
Oh
And I
wow.
remember that like our where we would live, like our dorms, there was like four pitches, and then the first one was the pros, and then you would go younger, all the way to the last one, and obviously the quality of the pitch would go down as well.
Of course.
Yeah, and then I would remember just walking and then looking to the pitch, and Wagner Love, Adriano, and just some big names were there. And to answer your question directly was we would think why wouldn't you want to stay there?
Hmm.
My big like as an adult we would say well why wouldn't you pursue that, right?
Yeah, of course.
As a young kid, I just missed home. I just
Yeah.
missed my friends. I missed my family, missed the comfort of my family. So I chose to go back home after a little while. So that was probably the biggest thing. And then that period of time though matured me a lot. And then I had other opportunities in lower level clubs because the people that were my agents at the time, because I
Okay.
said I wanted to go home, they were like, we can't work with this kid. Which I think is quite unfair as well. But again, it's the cutthroat business of this
Yeah.
sport. They don't have time for that, man. They don't have time for your feelings. And it's something that I try to go away from nowadays as a coach, but that's another topic. Just, then I went to these lower level clubs and I just wanted it so bad that the conditions were bad, man. Like bad. Like sleeping, living, food, no education. Like it was bad.
Okay.
So that then helped me though become a stronger man.
Okay.
And maybe taught me some lessons that I can now pass on to the kids that I coach. So I think that was the biggest one. Just fighting all these adversities and being away from home. It's easier said than done, man. I'll tell you that. It's
Oh
easier
no,
said
for
than
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was watching like the roster for like Sporting Kansas City next team, right? Like the academies, right? The same thing you're talking
yeah.
about. And many of those players are not from Kansas City. Many of them are like from West
Yes.
Virginia or Florida, and being far away from home, it's tough to be out there by yourself at 14, 15 years old.
It, and here I think it's a little easier.
Okay.
Well, you have a decent place you're living in.
Mm-hmm.
You have a decent meal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
You have your comfort. Back home is rough, man.
Okay.
So if you're not playing at the top academies, it's rough. I'm talking about one of my experiences. I won't name names of the teams or anything, but one of my experiences, and again, one of my best experiences because it just toughened me up, man.
Okay.
Uh, we were in the middle of a small town in São Paulo, and it was kind of like a farm setup.
Okay.
So we would live in that farmhouse, right? And I want you to imagine the worst living conditions you can possibly imagine, meaning you don't have water to flush the toilet, your bed, like there's bunk beds, and like my mattress was like this when I was laying.
Wow.
Like insects running everywhere. The food that was there during the week, and there was no one to cook for us. So they said, go ahead and cook. And there was this massive freezer that
Yeah.
it was all donations from the church, but all the food was expired.
Wow. Oh man.
So I remember there was this big gallon of water
Yep.
that was see-through. And when that thing was empty, you can see through it. But as soon as you would put the water that they gave us,
Yeah.
it was like the tea that I'm drinking. So the water wasn't clean.
Okay.
And I can keep going on and on, man. So, like, we had one uniform for the entire week. We practiced morning and afternoon. And I'm
Yep.
talking about I was 16, 17 years old, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It, again, adversities possibly makes Brazil a powerhouse of the sport because of that as well. Just teaches you a lot of like mental toughness,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not fair, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
fair on the human being that's there, on the kid that's there, because we have to remember also we were kids.
Yep.
Um, and it's more common than you'd think, man. It's a lot more common than you think.
Wow. Yeah. And that's why many of those young players from Brazil have the hunger to like overachieve, right? Because what you're coming from and like go straight to Europe or start, play with that hunger.
When I was in college, in Minnesota, I was asked to make a project on something. It was international business, and it was to just talk about something from a different country and all
Okay.
that. And then I made a whole, it was something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what the assignment was, but what I did was I talked about why America was behind in soccer and why other countries, and then I used Brazil as an
Okay.
example, what I was more familiar with, why they were maybe ahead. One of the reasons that and there's many reasons that I think till this day, but one of the many reasons that I put out was the motivation of one human being versus another, they can be different. Both can want to play soccer.
Yeah.
But if this one right here just wants to do it because he enjoys the sport, and this one right here needs to put a plate of food in his family's house, this kid's gonna win that race, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like different motivations. And I don't say this proudly, by the way. I don't
Hmm.
think that that's okay. The race is unfair
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the
yeah.
majority of people that don't make it, I actually saw, I don't remember the numbers exactly, but it was a third number. The small percentage that actually make a decently living playing the sport is non-comparable. It's like a 1% to the
Right.
people that make a little bit of a living to people that don't even like they don't even make it.
Okay.
It's just a different motivation for the kids, I think, back home versus right here.
Yeah, I know. So you're saying like the people that like earn the big bucks. It's a small percentage compared to the ones that don't make it, or don't get enough money.
And the consequences, though, come into the society, though, because it's the kids that don't make it back home, they have abandoned, if they don't have that support from the family, which the majority don't,
Okay.
uh, like they become the kids back home, the majority that play soccer, they become the last chance of that family of getting out of poverty type thing.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
if that kid doesn't make it, remember, like in the stories that I was just telling you, I wasn't
Hmm.
going to school. And I was 16, 17 years old. I got to be going to school,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, these kids then abandon education. They don't make it into the sport, and then they're left with nothing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here, and I'm not saying it's everyone, but already I'm a little bit ahead of the game because I have the
Hmm.
support of my family. I still have my education. And if soccer doesn't work, which probably won't work at a really high level,
Yeah.
there's this college thing. And if this college thing after doesn't work professionally, then I have a degree. Back home, that's not happening.
Wow. Okay. Did you have the support from your family? Because you did you have to pay for the academy, or was it free, or how did that work?
Yeah. So you asked me two questions. First off, it's probably good that I clarify this because if my grandma and my mom listen to this, they're gonna kick my butt. I went through all this out of choice.
Okay.
I was fortunate enough to have we weren't millionaires, but I was fortunate enough that I always had a roof over my head. I always had access to education if I wanted. I always had a meal on my table. Like my family took care of me because they worked really hard to have that as well, right?
Okay.
So I want to make sure I clarify that as well. It was all out of choice. Like I just wanted to pursue this dream, and that's what it takes to make it back home.
Hmm.
Your other question was, remind me, Eduardo.
Um,
You said,
how did your family support
oh, you asked about the academies being paid.
That's right.
So
That's right.
the actual academies,
Hmm.
and I actually had a conversation about this the other day with Tawan Salgado. He's the CMO at Lakeland United, it's a UPSL boarding school team in Florida. Really good friend of mine. He's actually someone you should bring on here, Eduardo. Really, really,
Okay.
really cool guy. Really, really cool guy.
What's his name?
Tawan,
Don't.
Tauan.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It'd
Please.
be definitely interesting for everyone to listen to him as well. But we were talking about like the amount of academies that we have back home versus the amount of academies that we have here, and the whole pay to play thing.
Yeah.
People like there's these academies. If you're paying, it's not really an academy. Back home, we would call them escolinhas, which is
Okay.
it's what we have right now. They're club soccer, right?
Okay.
But the academies are a different thing. So the amount of academies that we have back home in comparison to the United States is non-comparable. And then we do have the escolinhas, which would be the clubs. But I never really played in that.
Okay.
I always played in the academy, so that was free. So at
So,
whatever cost.
so you were pretty good then. You were.
I wouldn't say that. I was only okay. To be very honest, I was only okay, which
Okay.
just shows like I was only okay, and I think I'm good, but I was only okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
I just know some ballers. If I didn't make it playing professionally, it
Yeah.
was also because I just fell in love with coaching once I got here. So a lot of different things, but I know some friend of mine that didn't make it, and they were 100 times better than I was.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
it just shows how competitive the market is, right?
Yeah, no, it's very, very tough to make it professional anywhere, I'm not even gonna say Brazil because you got kids and kids and kids and playing, so it's
Yeah. There's a coach, Fernando Diniz from Brazil. He was saying that nowadays it's harder. He was saying that it's harder to become a professional football player, soccer player, than it is to become a doctor. So
wow.
it's
I
hard to be
believe
a
that. Yeah,
doctor,
yeah.
man.
Yeah,
It's
no,
hard to be a
it
doctor.
is, yeah.
Uh,
So your family was supporting you, while you were in the academy, but what sacrifice did they make to help you try to achieve your dream?
well, obviously someone had to pay some bill at one point.
Hmm.
They were doing that, and but I also think that it's a I don't know. I don't know if I would be comfortable making the decision that they made with my own son. Like I'm gonna have my son right now. I'm not sure
Okay.
I'd take my son to an academy to live away from me. So I think that their biggest sacrifice, obviously, they had to work and
Hmm.
support the family, all this stuff, right? But I think their biggest challenge is probably the same as mine. They're away
Hmm.
from me, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it can't be easy to be away from your, and I'm an only son as well. So my mom's single,
Oh.
so it's one of those that like it probably wasn't easy on her. But I just wanted it too much, and I was stubborn, so but I'm not like I don't know if I do that with my son. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I I, I don't know. No, I know. I wouldn't do that with my son. I don't feel
Okay. It's a tough decision, wouldn't it be?
just it's not sustainable for a kid. I think that there's more important things, but I don't judge anyone for making the decision that they made.
No, what can you say? It's a tough decision. Do you help him, I guess, achieve his dream, or do you, I
Yeah.
don't know, I don't want to say hold back, but,
Well,
or guard him, I guess. I don't know.
right. Gotta let the bird fly. Gotta
At
let him
one
fly.
point, yeah. So after your time in the academy, did you come to college soccer?
Yeah. So after all the bouncing around and trying and stuff, I was around 18 years old. Um, I got recommended to this agency, 2SV, which till this day I'm really, really close. With 2SV, it was kind of like full circle. They sent me as a player, and now I come back to their events to recruit as a coach. So it's
Wow, okay.
satisfying. I'm still really, really close to their owner there. One of their owners there, Ricardo Silveira. He really took care of me till this day. He's a massive supporter even of my coaching career. So I went on a showcase that they have, and then I came to America in 2014. So they found me a school. It was a junior college in Minnesota, Anoka Ramsey Community College, which nowadays I look back at my journey. Like when I came here, I was still thinking, I want to play professional. I want to play professional. That's all I knew, right? It was playing.
Okay.
But it's crazy because I was thinking, man, if I don't make it playing, what am I gonna do? I was like undecided major, to be very
Gotcha.
honest.
Okay.
No, I didn't know what I wanted to study. Like I wanted to play soccer, right? But it's crazy, and I would, like I was saying, I look back into my journey. I feel like everything was done for a certain reason. I think I could have went to a more prestigious school.
Hmm.
God had a more powerful plan that maybe at the time I didn't know, and he sent me to Anoka Ramsey. And the reason that I fell in love with coaching is very, very much because of the coach that was there. Brady was the name of the head coach at Anoka Ramsey Community College. He's the founder of the program. Like he started it. He was there for years. Now he only does youth soccer in Minnesota as well. But he was a massive mentor. I sometimes I speak to him quite often on Facebook, and I tell him this. I always thank him and stuff. When I go back to Minnesota, my wife's family is from Minnesota, so we go back there, and it's always like I remember stuff. Like we went to the school there, saw stuff in person. My wife played at the on their women's program as well. That's how we met. But I always send him a message, and I just thank him and stuff. But I don't know exactly if he knows how much he impacted me.
Okay.
Uh, I wouldn't say that we were the closest when I was there. Like I think I have had relationships with players that are a lot closer than I was with him. But that guy just did something that really touched my heart, and it made me fall in love with coaching. And the thought process that I had was like, huh, I think I like what he does, and I think I see myself doing that after college. So
Okay.
played 2 seasons there. Our assistant coach there, Fergie, he used to run a small youth club in town. That's how I got into coaching right away. So with the little ones running around, which I think is what everyone, regardless of the level or how good of a coach you
Hmm.
are, where you should start. Um, then I needed an extra semester to get my associate's degree. So he hired me, didn't really hire
Okay.
me here to be his assistant. So that was already my first. I wasn't done with college, and I was already coaching college. So that was pretty cool. As soon as that was done, then I obviously had to transfer onto the 4 year level. And again, things happen for a reason. God has a massive plan for me, I guess, and He sent me to the University of Charleston. I was nowhere near good enough to play at the University of Charleston. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Maybe my skill from back home when I was 18 would sell me well enough. But after in America, my focus went to I like playing soccer, but I really love coaching. So
Okay.
everything that I was doing was for coaching. Um,
Hmm.
so went to Charleston and I met Chris Grassi, which nowadays is one of my biggest mentors and inspirations as well. There I also met Daniel Stratz. There I also met Scott Wells, and those three people are really important for me. Scott Wells now is the head coach at Gardner Webb. Chris Gracia is now the head coach at Marshall University, and Daniel Stratz is now the head coach at West Virginia. So I was surrounded by some pretty powerful people in my
Wow.
segment.
Okay.
Um, After a semester, I knew that playing wasn't for me. I was really honest with Stratz because at the time Chris made the move to Marshall, and I said, it's just not for me. I'm not good enough. And I feel like I'm not having the coach opportunities that I want to try to progress. So I messaged a friend of mine that was playing for Friends University in Wichita, Kansas, and I saw that he was coaching also for FC Wichita. And he's like, Gonzo, why don't you come over here play at Friends with me, and I'll help you out at FC Wichita. Again, God had a bigger plan for me. Went to Wichita, um, and that's where I really grew as a coach, and that's kind of where my career, as I like to say, has kind of like been going step by step and
Yeah.
up the ladder. Um, so that was a little bit of my playing and all
Okay.
that. I don't want to speak for too long. You probably got some other ones.
No, 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 no. I don't mind it. So was it a hard decision to just like, or come to a realization, you know what, I'm not gonna make it professionally? Was it a hard decision that one, or was it like, no, I like doing this instead?
Um, one of our he's a volunteer assistant here, RJ here at Bowling Green. He just stopped playing. I don't even like to say stop because if someone called him right now to go play professionally again, he probably would go.
Okay.
So he's in that like phase of getting away from playing, maybe coaching, maybe a different job, right? Um, and I was telling him, I was like, man, when I made the decision, because I actually didn't play my senior year.
Oh,
I
you
went
didn't?
no, so I played my freshman and sophomore year at my JUCO,
Mm-hmm.
and then I only did a spring at Charleston, and I did a
Okay.
fall at Friends. So my last fall, which was supposed to be my senior year, I went to Wilkie, the coach at Friends, and I said, I don't love it anymore, and I prefer to miss a practice and go coach a session with my youth team. What do you think? And I was really lucky that he still kept my scholarship and I helped them with whatever I could, whenever I could.
Yep.
Uh, a guy with a massive heart as well. Like he helped so many of us at Friends, way beyond the pitch, just with everything with life. He's a great guy. Like I was really fortunate to be around good people here that helped me. I didn't make this. I didn't do this by myself. Like there was a lot of support from people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when I told them that, like, yeah, Gonzo, no problem. Come with you can when you can and help us out with you can. And that was that. And then I remember that night, because we practiced at night at Friends. I remember that night going home and going onto the shower. And I just remember like almost like a movie. Hot water hit it, and I was like, wow, I just made that decision. So my entire life,
Mm-hmm.
from 0 to well, however old I was at that point, early 20s, just got removed from my timeline.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now I'm going to start this other thing. And for people that are listening, it might not be as impactful as it was for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember, that's all I knew. The sport is all I knew. Going to
Yep.
practice, going home, pretending at school type thing, wanting to make it professionally, like that all of a sudden was done. So it was like a big, but it was a really conscious one though. Like I really thought about it. It was,
Okay.
it wasn't something that I was just like, "Oh, I don't want to play no more." Like I really fell in love with coaching. So it was hard, but it was an easy one.
Do you ever miss going back, or ever miss playing, like, man, I wish I could have gone professionally, or you like, no, not really?
Not really. Like I said, I was okay only. I wasn't good enough. And I also felt like this passion for if I thought I loved playing, I just didn't know how much I like coaching.
Okay.
So it was like, man, my my heart is fulfilled with something way bigger
Mm-hmm.
than I had before. So yeah, man, it was a like I said, it was a thought through decision. And I think the last time I played, last time I played was a little small-sided when I was coaching at Xavier in New Orleans. But before that, I was coaching during the summer in Wichita, the USL2 team there.
Hmm.
And one of the guys that Larry Enlow, he runs a um he's a he played professionally, coached soccer as well in the area, which he has um this team full of like old people like me or whatever. Get together, play against the high schoolers, they can network for opportunities. Pulled my hamstring and it was the funniest thing. Got out and I was laying there for the longest time, and all of a sudden I just hear this parent coming, Coach, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. So that was me done. I'm playing.
And you're still young, you're what, like 30 years old, so
No, I this is another thing. When like younger, right? Because I say
Mhm.
younger, like you said, I'm 31 years old. I'm not old. When younger coaches asked me like how did I progress and stuff, I also felt like I was really fortunate enough to flip that switch right away and know that I wanted to coach.
Okay.
So that gave me a time advantage. Like I started way early.
Hmm.
Like I was coaching players that were older than me, and I was in my senior year
Okay.
in college. Like I was coaching 30-year olds type
Yeah.
thing. And I was early 20s. So like I think I was able, I think no, this is also a part of my journey. Because I started so early and I was fortunate enough to be inspired by people so early, I got a head start. So that's why
Gotcha.
at
Okay.
31, I think I have I've had the positions that I've had.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, coaching players that are older, must give you that confidence, right? Like, they're following me because a player has to follow a coach because if not, you can't have a good team. So having 30 years old, people that are older than you follow you, that must bring your confidence a little bit higher.
Man, I've done my licenses, stuff like that. I continue further education, learn just from this chat. I learned stuff as well. It's a continuous learning curve. It should
Hmm.
never stop for coaches. The biggest amount of learning that I did was when I was a senior in college with zero experience, zero of coaching semi-professional. I was the assistant for FC Wichita in their semi-pro team. At the time, they were playing NPSL. The players that we brought to FC Wichita should have not been coached by me. They were way ahead of the game.
Okay.
I was coaching Frank Tayu, Matt Clare. Like you Google these names, you'll know. Uzi Tayu, Leo Sosa, Leo Catarina, and Seba Pinedo. Like we Googled his names and I was a kid and that
Okay.
knew nothing that I was talking about. The biggest learning moment that I had was when, and we were really hands-on as assistants there. Um, Blake Shoemaker was the head coach, and he's the owner of the club till this day. That season, I think it was the only season that he head coached. Usually he would hire someone else, but on that one he head coached. But he really had myself and one of my best friends, Lucas Cordero, that we've shared the sideline several times as well. Um, we say that that was probably our biggest learning experience. I remember on a halftime, we're coming out and staff's talking, and remember, we're really hands on. So we're really giving the coaching points, me and Lucas.
Hmm.
And the guys come around us, and maybe we were losing, I don't remember. And I put the cones down and I give a coaching point and to Matt Clare, and then we move on to the next question. Like, any other questions? And then he's like, wait. And I was like, oh, what did you say? I was like, well, if you do this, and he was like, basically like, calm down, boy. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest learning experience that I had. So
Okay.
like, and he's probably right. I need to learn how to address him as a young man coming in. And
Yeah.
this guy having the experience that he's had already, probably gotta ease my way into him, which is something that obviously now I realize. But that moment was a huge learning moment. I don't think I've ever told him this, but um, yeah, I just think that I was able to move forward because of these opportunities, and that was the biggest learning moment that I had. So when I tell coaches, piece of advice, man. If you can try to decide what you want for your life and put yourself out there and feel like I did,
Yeah.
the more you'll have.
So a couple of things from here. Doesn't Leo Souza play indoor now professionally?
Leo Sosa played indoor for which the Wings.
Okay.
Um,
I think he plays for KC Comets, if I'm not wrong.
no, 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 no. Oh,
No?
no, that's Lucas Souza, which I know him as well.
Oh,
We
okay, okay,
we
okay.
came to America more or less the same time. Lucas Souza, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Leo Sosa was as good as Lucas Souza. So there you go. A little
Oh,
comparison.
okay, okay, okay. Where does he play now? Leo Souza.
Leo Sosa now makes millions selling cars in Wichita, Kansas,
Oh,
as a
wow.
beautiful family. So
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah, he's taking he's hanging up he hung up the boots as well. But what a player he was.
Oh, so Lucas Souza was the one that plays for the Comets right now.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Ah, okay, 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 okay.
Well, last I checked, he was playing for the Comets. Yeah.
I think so because I have like the roster from last season, I think, and I
Yeah.
remember I thought it was Leo Souza. You mentioned
Yeah,
right now. I
yeah.
thought it was him.
It's close. Yeah, yeah. Also on that Comets team back then at FC Wichita, I don't think that he plays indoor anymore, but James Togba also has played for the
Oh,
Comets.
okay. Okay.
And what a player James Togba was as well.
Was he a really good player? I don't remember. I don't.
He's from Liberia, man.
Okay.
And if you look him up, like you know Marcelo, the left back, played for Real Madrid, all that, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Look, Marcelo does some crazy videos of like him trapping the ball in different ways or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Pogba takes it to the extreme next level.
Wow.
It'd be
Okay.
something interesting for people to look up as well. What a player he was. Really a strong personality as well. Another guy that probably tested us and helped us grow as coaches.
Okay. So again, coaching the older players, helped you develop, I guess, your confidence. And the other day, I was talking to DJ. He's like a mental coach. I can't remember like what he how you say it, right? But what made you like stand out? Like you say, I was coaching. You were younger, coaching older players, and you mentioned before, they were way ahead of you in terms of their knowledge in soccer. What made you stand out and get that confidence?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of a lot of things. I think it's a mix of I knew what I wanted to do for the longest time now, and I wasn't afraid to put myself out there.
Okay,
I wasn't afraid of looking silly. I
okay,
also think it has to do with my personality. I'm not the shyest person.
okay.
Like I was telling you before, but you were telling me how kind of all this goes. I was like, we'll be all right. I think that it helps as well. Like my people skills, I make friends quite easily.
Okay.
I think that helped as well. Um, but I'm not away. I think a last thing would be like I'm not afraid of the work.
Hmm.
And if you asked me to be the water boy at that point, I was going to be the water boy. If you asked me to go run the session, I was going to run the session. Maybe the session was going to be awful, but I was going to run it. Um, so I wasn't afraid of doing whatever I was asked, man. I think that those three things were probably, if you want to call it how I stood out, I guess. That would be what I'd say. And for younger coaches, I say don't be afraid to fail. That's how you learn.
Okay. And then after your time with Wichita, uh, is that what you go to Xavier to New Orleans?
No, so I graduated, and then out of all the segments of soccer that I possibly could have done, youth soccer, semi-pro soccer, if I wanted to try something professionally, whatever, college was the segment that changed my life. So
Hmm.
I wanted to be in college. So my first job was at Bethel College with James Cottage, another massive mentor of mine. I was the assistant coach there. It's an NAIA school in North Newton, Kansas. So did a season there, but it was really part-time. So money wasn't great, which is also a part of this. Like when you're proving your worth, I talk about this to younger coaches. I keep saying younger coaches. People are going to think like I'm this like 50-year-old guy speaking, but just people that are starting the career, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I advise them. I'm like, dude, you're gonna have to maybe go run 100 privates, and so you can make some money. But you know, if your focus is college, you got to be involved in the game, and that was kind of it. So my position was part time or volunteer, but I was
Okay.
really full time. We would be there, practice 6 a.m. I'd be there until 5, because then I would drive back to Wichita, which was like a 30-minute drive or something like that. And I would run the club practices at FC Wichita. I had two teams. I'd go home and repeat. So first job, that was it. That was my first opportunity in college. After that, I went to Hutchinson Community College. Now, this guy that I worked for, he he's probably the most special human being I've met in the business. Sammy Lane, Irish guy, founder of the program, the women's program at Hudson Community College, very successful. His attributes aren't the best. His main attributes aren't his coaching, it's just who he is as a human being. Everyone
Okay.
loves him. So he was able to install a lot of like remove this cutthroat stuff, be yourself, and he just really mentored me in that and fired up that piece of me, which I think is a big piece of me. So did a season there, but I wanted to get into the men's game again. That Hutch gig paid a little bit better. Then I went to Neosho County Community College, which was the Hutch was an hour drive. And so everything seemed to be a little far, and it kept going further away. I went to Neosho County Community College where the pay was a little better. That was full time. Then it was men's and women's, and I was an hour and 45 from Wichita, Kansas to Chanute, Kansas. But in the meantime that I was doing that, I was firing away applications, man, to get my first head coaching job in college,
Mhm.
and I just could not land a job. And
Wow.
I was going crazy, and I was like, I can't believe it. Why am I not getting a job? Like, blah, blah, blah. I got into all this. Then I found out the power of networking. And this is
Okay.
another thing that I tell young coaches. You shaking a hand, you having a conversation, every day is a job interview, and you just
Mhm.
never know how that's going to pay off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So while I was at Bethel, I met Jamie Peterson, who is the head coach at Oklahoma Wesleyan, probably the best NAIA program talent wise that I've seen ever. He knew the athletic director at Eastern Oklahoma State College. It was a junior college in Oklahoma, and he referred me to that job because I was messaging everyone saying that I was wanting a head coaching job in college and how can you help me? And I was bothering you. And then he's like, oh, this dude told me he was looking for a coach. And I was like, oh, I applied.
Okay.
That guy only, the athletic director, Matt Parker at Eastern Oklahoma State College, he probably only looked at my application because Jamie told him to. Otherwise, he wouldn't have. It would have been another no to me, and I would have been crazy. Um, Eastern Oklahoma State College was my first head coaching job in college soccer. Wilburton, Oklahoma. Uh, Not a lot of people live there. There's
Okay.
maybe one stop sign in town, but what an experience it was, man. I lived across the highway from the field,
Hmm.
on a house that was given because we had to pay rent, but it was a dirt cheap rent from the school, and we took over a 1-8 program, and I brought a bunch of special human beings, and we just turned that thing around, man. And after 2 years, we were the number 9 seeded in the national tournament out of 12. So
Wow.
we turned it around, man. But those kids, till this day, I talk to them, and they know how much they played a part in my career. They know that the relationships that I have with them are way, way, way beyond playing soccer and coaching them and stuff. So I'm really thankful to them. That's the job that then allowed me the
Hmm.
Xavier job.
Okay.
Um, took over now, started the program at Xavier because there was no soccer program at Xavier. And that
Okay.
was 2023.
Okay. At this time when where you were kept getting no's, everywhere you couldn't get a job. Was there a time where you'd be like, maybe this isn't for me, and maybe I should just hang up, or you just I gotta do it.
Man, every time someone gave me a no, I would be sad for 3 seconds, but it was this fire that lit up in me, and I was like, I'm gonna get it. And that's present till this day right now, man, because
Yeah.
went to Xavier. We started the program from zero. After 2 years, we also had success, made it to the national tournament as well. And that then allowed me probably the position as first assistant recruiting coordinator here at Bowling Green Division One program.
Okay.
But I haven't reached my goal yet, my end goal.
Hmm.
So that fire's still in me, man.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
bless my wife's heart. God bless my wife's heart because probably once I get that Division 1 head coaching job, I'm probably gonna get bored after a little while, and then I don't know where we're gonna go. So I do think it's gonna calm it down a bit, and I'll probably spend 10 to 20 years in this next job. Um, if when I'm giving the opportunity, but yeah, I think that was probably what was going on with me and why I was able to make these steps.
So you turn around a program that was 1-8, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
It was a bad program, you know. They were
Yep.
coming off of bad defeats. You turned it around. How'd you manage to do that? What was the first thing that you changed from this program?
I think the biggest thing in college soccer, nah, not college soccer, the biggest thing in soccer,
Mhm.
don't think that I'm this genius that turns something around. I'm not. And none of us are, by the way. I think that 80% of the success of a success result wise, right? Because there's different ways of measuring success. But if we want to talk about numbers, the biggest thing is the players, man, is recruiting.
Okay.
So, again, power of networking. I knew a lot of people around the world, and I brought these kids that bought into my idea. And because of them, and then later we can maybe talk about me. Maybe later we can talk about the support of the community. Maybe later, other things. But because of them, and because they bought into what we were selling them, we were able to turn it around. 80% of the success, in my opinion, of a college soccer program result wise comes to the quality of the players.
Okay. But you did the recruiting.
Yeah. Let's
W-
give them the credit though.
No, what I was going is, were you looking for something in particular when you were recruiting these players,
Yeah,
or just that?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'll tell you my recruiting strategy then. Um, I am familiar with what I'm familiar with, and I try to stay as close as possible to that as possible. So I played in Brazil, and because of that, I'm able to gauge the level in South America a lot closer than I am to gauge the other markets.
Mhm.
So I went heavily into South America and I recruited kids from there. It's still a strategy of mine to this day. Um, because again, I'm familiar with it. Second, though, the relationships that I have built throughout the years, I like to say that they're trustworthy relationships. Um, if a trustworthy person sends me a player, I tend to have a biased opinion of getting his player versus some other one. So my
Mhm.
networking played a part, and these
Okay.
relationships played a part. And then third and last, obviously, well, not third and last. Third, technical ability. I have a
Mhm.
way that I like to play the sport, so I try to bring those players in,
Of
technically
course.
sound, physically sound, soccer IQ as much as possible. And then fourth, and I hate that I'm putting this one last because this is probably the most important one as well, because you want to be surrounded by people that you like, is we want to recruit good kids. We want to recruit good people. Not perfect people, good people,
Okay.
right? Because we all have our faults. Some people think that you got to be this robot, yes or no. So I hate that, man. Be yourself. I'm okay with how you are. Be okay with how I am. We'll figure each other out. But I think I'm good at sensing vibes from people and what their
Okay.
true intentions are. So I try to bring the people that I think correlate and see the world a little closer to me.
Gotcha. Okay. So in order to bring players, you gotta have a good, positive team culture, right? What's your approach to building this positive team culture?
Yeah. And I think that here at BG we have a really, really strong one, and I'm learning so much from it because I think that that's probably an area of improvement of mine. To right now, if I were to tell you what is maybe an area, I think that culture is a piece that I need to work on more. Why do I say that? So I am not a good businessman. I'm not.
Okay.
Why do I say that? I'm not driven only by cutthroat
Hmm.
business. Before I ask you how you're doing, sorry, before I ask you how well you're playing, I ask you how you're doing.
Hmm.
Then some other people are different. It's like, how did you play? And then how you're doing, like who you are as a person for me is more important. So I think that because I'm this father figure, older brother, uncle, whatever, that takes care of you as a human being, which couldn't be good. It can be good, right?
Hmm.
Uh, I think that that would be my strength but downfall
Okay.
because there's a fine balance of both that you have to have. And I'm not sure at 31 years old I have it figured out, but I do really love the way I do things.
Okay.
So to respond to you on how I did my culture stuff, it was really family oriented. You're not my
Okay.
player, you're part of my family, and it sounds cheesy when a lot of people say that. That's how
Hmm.
I do it.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I do it. And the living proof is my players.
Hmm.
After they're done playing for me, we're still friends, right? I'm not their coach. I'm Gonzalo Carranza that just happens to be their coach.
Okay.
Um, so really family oriented, but then, it's a challenge of mine that I have to figure out how I can balance both. How can I be a really good businessman and how can I implement this in the business? So I think that the experience that I'm having here right now really teaches me that. Um, Eric Nichols is our head coach here, and he does a phenomenal job with those two.
Okay. Y- You've been rather successful, turning around this program in Oklahoma and then starting in Xavier, starting a program. But what's the biggest sacrifice you've had to do for your soccer career so far?
Well, I've lived away from my family since forever, right? I
Okay,
think
yeah,
we can get back to that one. But also another one, we're starting a family. I'm starting a family of my own, and I always tell again younger coaches this. I tell them like, you get married, you got to sit down with your wife, and you have to have a life plan.
yeah.
Um, I asked my wife what her dream was 10 years ago. She said it was to be a mom, and that's happening here soon. And she asked me, not that being a dad was in my dream, but she asked me what my dream was. It was to be a Division One head coach. So we're making sacrifices to to accomplish that goal, and that means living in Wilburton, Oklahoma, which is maybe not the place everyone wants to live. Again, what a place it was in my life, man.
Hmm.
Like we love the people there. Then we went to New Orleans, which is completely different than anything we've ever lived. I'm bringing my wife, Midwest girl, to go live in New Orleans. That was different for her. So, and she, for whatever reason, keeps following me. So I must be doing something good. But I think that we're away from her family, which could be our support base here to live in Minnesota. So there's a lot of personal things that play a part into someone being successful in coaching, but we're willing to make these sacrifices because of our plan that we have, the passions that we have, the ambitions that we have.
Okay.
Hopefully, it all pays off. It has
So,
so far.
so you're having your first. Is it a boy or a girl?
Boy, Diego Carranza. If I show you his room there, he has Diego because of Diego Armando Maradona, and there's a little 10 right there.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. Okay.
yeah,
So
his
he's
room
got to
looks
play
good.
soccer, huh?
That's what we were talking about the other day. He better. He
What
might
if he?
hate it because of it.
So what happens if he decides, hey, Dad, I'm not gonna play soccer? What happens at that time?
I might give him one of those like cascudos we call it back home that my grandma used to give on the head. I'll be like, "What'd you say? Play soccer? Okay, okay, that's better." I'm not gonna force him to do anything that he doesn't want to. I hope he feels inspired by his dad, though. I
Right,
do.
of course, of course, of
That'd be
course,
great. And if not, man, we just want him to be a good kid.
of course. I used to tell my wife when my son was born, if he doesn't play soccer, I'm gonna disown him. He has to
That's
play
right.
soccer.
Oh, we'll give it to someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Did he play soccer?
He does, he does, he does.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Mission accomplished. You're living the
So
dream then.
yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. So to this point, I haven't disowned him. So I don't know if he'll quit.
Right.
I might
Nah, he
have
won't.
to.
No, 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 no. You did a good job with it. He's a Cruz Azul fan as well, or no?
Uh, I'm not sure of that yet, but
Okay.
hopefully we get
We'll
him
get
to
him
Cruz
there.
Azul. Yeah, 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 yeah. As long as he doesn't like Barcelona.
I know. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're a Real Madrid fan?
Yes, yeah, yes, yes.
Ooh, okay, okay, okay.
Are you or are you go for Barcelona? Or
Um,
what club do you support? You don't support a club.
so no, so when I was younger, this is my answer to that when people ask me,
Hmm.
what do you support, right? Because usually you just say a team.
Hmm.
Um, after I started coaching, I have watched a lot less soccer in comparison than what I did before.
Okay.
Because now I'm watching the soccer of the teams that I coach.
Hmm.
The free time that I have, I'm also doing that. I support the Argentina national team. Like we said before, I have a really soft spot for the Brazilian national team. But other than that, I'm not really watching soccer because of the team. I'm watching soccer because of the coaches that coach the team. So
Yeah.
I love watching City. Really liked watching Pep when he was at Barcelona. So that's when I was like,
Okay. Oh, okay, okay.
I'm a really big fan of Ancelotti as well, though, and how he has his people skills in the locker room and stuff. So I love the way they play. By the way, don't loan Endrick. Don't loan Endrick because he's gonna be a good player for Real Madrid. Then I mentioned before Fernando Diniz. Now he doesn't have a club, but when he was in any of the clubs that he's participating in, I turn on the TV. I probably tend to watch him. So I watch more the coaches that coach the
Hmm.
team versus the team that I like or don't like.
Gotcha. Yeah, you mentioned Carlo Ancelotti. I like the way he just keeps the calmness. They could be losing, and he's still so calm. You know.
Yeah. And that probably plays a part on these like people ask the players like, man, how is it that you guys can overcome these games that all of a sudden seem like they're slipping away from you guys and then you guys just win these big games, Champions League, whatever it is, right? I think what you just mentioned probably plays a part.
Hmm.
Just look at him, his manager, and calm and compose. He
Yep.
trusts the plan, trusts the players, and that probably feeds off energy to them as well.
He does, yeah, because the other day they were playing Real Sociedad and they kept tying. But like the last goal, it was like say overtime. This guy did not celebrate. He kept calm every single time.
Yeah.
Like and you could tell the players are just calm. They know what they have to do. They're not out
Yeah.
there like rushing and all this.
I think that his most unique thing, and when we say these things, we kind of like it's almost like we're not talking about him being a good tactician or whatever. It's not that. I think his
Hmm.
biggest strength is that the relationships that he has with the players. They like him as a person,
Hmm.
so he already has an advantage when teaching them something. The players are more open to listening to this guy speak about something, about an idea, right? I also try to do that as well. I try to
Okay.
create bond with human beings, and then hopefully they listen to me when I tell them they actually know.
Another coach who used to do that is Jose Mourinho. Like he'll have that connection with the players before he'll go and do that tactical and all that.
I think the two biggest extremes, and this is me generalizing this, right? People have different opinions, but you would actually hear people speak more about Mourinho as a person than you will about Pep.
Hmm.
Um, Pep is this genius
Yeah.
of the sport, but Mourinho is this guy that everyone loves in the locker room. Not that they hate Pep or whatever, but you tend to hear that comparison quite often.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've always heard Zlatan Ibrahimovic,
Yeah.
talk about Jose Mourinho once he,
Yeah.
he starts talking about him. Yeah, he talks so highly of Jose Mourinho and does not like Pep Guardiola to
I
this day.
know. Well, Ibra also has a strong personality, so
He
who knows
does,
what
yeah.
he is.
Yeah, yeah. That is true. What's the most significant accomplishment that stands out to you so far in your career right now?
I think that it would be unfair to choose one. I think that I'll name some that played a big part. Um, Starting a program from zero at Xavier, I felt like was really special. It's like a blank canvas that you're given, and it says we trust you, right?
Hmm.
So like they're giving you this project, and it was not a smooth one. It took a lot of hours of work, but I felt like we left Xavier in a really good spot, and I'm really happy that my assistant Lucas gets to take over the program because I know that the boys that remain there love him as well, and he's really good too. So just the fact that we started it, and after 2 years we made it to the second round of nationals, I felt like that on its own was a special accomplishment. Um, Completely changing Eastern Oklahoma State College from a 1-8 program 4 years in a row or whatever amount of years in a row without even making it to the playoffs. There were 6 teams in the conference. They couldn't even make it into the top four. And then on my last year, we won undefeated the regular season, the playoffs, the district, the district game against number five in the country, which they were better than us. Western Texas were better, but we just managed to beat them somehow. And then all of a sudden we're at the national tournament in Florida playing against Iowa Western in Salt Lake. Like, who were we? No one even knew who we were. So like that was a big one. And then this last one, man, of me just making the jump to Division 1. and now being given the vote of trust to do a lot of things here. I feel like those are the three that maybe come to mind. We made a Open Cup since the Open Cup's being played right now, U.S. Open Cup. We made a run in the U.S. Open Cup when I was an assistant. We beat two professional teams. We were one game away from actually playing for Sporting Kansas City.
Oh wow.
Ended up losing 3-2, if I'm not mistaken, to a team from Texas. But we beat at that point, it was Oklahoma Energy,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
and we beat Tulsa Roughnecks, which now I think it's Tulsa FC.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, and that was with like a last minute goal or whatever. So that was a pretty big one as well. I don't know, man. I think it'd be kind of unfair to choose one, but these little moments in my career,
Mhm.
I've had a lot, and I think that they have special meaning.
How did come about, starting a program in Xavier? How did that come about?
So this is a crazy one. Like I think that I think no, the majority of the jobs that I've gotten have had to do with networking,
Okay.
like recommendations, and then obviously at that point myself doing a good job presenting, and then while I'm there, living up to expectations and stuff. Um, the Xavier one is weird, man. Like I got, I was speaking to them while we were on our national tournament run at Eastern, and I got selected to the Zoom interview. Did the Zoom interview. I felt like everyone treated me really well. Then they flew me there on campus, and man, I just felt like Nathan Cochran was the athletic director that hired me. He just made me feel super special. So when I got home, I was like, I got the job. But but then I found out who my competition was, and I was like, oh, I don't got the job. I won't name his name, but I'm actually close to him now. Um, coach, Division One head coach, professional, successful professional head coach at the NISA level, and then assistant Division One, if I'm not mistaken. No, assistant Division One right now for a pretty prestigious program. So when I heard that, and he is from Louisiana,
Oh wow. Okay.
he's from Baton Rouge, which is an hour away. So I'm like, I don't got the job.
Yeah.
Somehow I got the job. So it was just, I think that me and Nathan really clicked. I didn't get the opportunity to work with him. When we were moving, he actually took another job. Like in the U-Haul driving with my wife, I get an email from him saying I took this other position. I got to meet him in person and stuff, but we just clicked. His family was really nice to me as well. So that's kind of how I think I got the job with these like maybe interpersonal skills, and then obviously we can't forget that I did something okay before as well. So
Yeah. So you were coming from a program that you had just turned around, you beat Western Texas to a program that you had nothing. You barely starting from the ground. What made you move?
I wanted to get so Eastern Oklahoma State College was a junior college school, so that was a 2 year school. And
Okay.
my thought process, and like I told you, my long term goal, what that is, and all. I wanted to get myself closer to this world, which was then in my thought process was I want to become a collegiate 4 year head coach. So
Okay.
that's when I went to Xavier University, Louisiana,
Because it was a
because
4 year college, it was more closer to your goal.
makes more sense. So, and I don't think it's an exact math, trust me, but that's just kind of the thought process that I had, and that's also why I made the move here. Now I'm already in the Division One level. I'm not a head coach, but I'm an assistant.
Yeah.
Seems like the market works that way. So hopefully one day, not too, not too long, not too long from now, hopefully someone gives me an opportunity to turn their program around.
Was it a hard time in Xavier when you were starting this program?
Yeah, it was a hard time, man. Now Xavier is a special place with a lot of special human beings. But it's New Orleans, man. So everything is a little slow and everything is it's gonna be okay, coach. And I'm like, I'm more like Hispanic, hardworking, get stuff done. And
Yeah,
they're more
yeah.
like Carnival, it's Mardi Gras. And I'm like, the right time to start a program. But I think the biggest hurdles were just understanding and learning everything. And then also the school learning me and how I wanted to do stuff. And because I like increased drastically the number of internationals
Okay.
in the programs, right? Like half of my roster there is international. So if we had 30, 15 of these kids were all coming at once, 15 kids internationals. That was a lot. So I think that that was the biggest hurdle. And then like when you're somewhere else and there's something to sell, it's easier to convince kids to come to your program. I was selling the program based on just my word. So I think that that's when also my junior college run played a good part. Like
Okay.
I could say, hey, I did okay here. Can you come over here and give me a vote of trust? But it was still very much in the dark, right? People did Xavier wasn't known for soccer.
Yeah. It must have been like a tough decision, right? I mean, hard go from over here to nothing.
Yeah. And I think it was a challenge that excited me rather than make me afraid. So
Okay.
I was excited about the challenge.
And then you were successful again at Xavier, right? Was it because of your like we were talking about that every player's family? Is that what made it successful?
I think that that plays a part as well, but I think that it would be unfair to say that that was the main thing because I've also seen teams that everyone hates each other, but they still win because they're really good.
Hmm.
So I just prefer to keep it lighter, prefer to keep it more on a family environment, which there's good things and bad things on as well. I won't lie, because at one point you're so connected to the human being that's there that it might be hard to make some business decisions that need to be made. Um, but I think that that was maybe one of the points. I won't say it was the main one. I think that again, 80% of success in college soccer, I think, has to do with the recruiting side of things. We recruited some really good players. And from there, hopefully my tactics helped a bit. Hopefully my training helped a bit. Um, Obviously the support of the school and the community also helped. We don't Xavier doesn't have a soccer field, and to find a field in New Orleans is tough.
Oh, is
So,
it?
oh yeah, like it's not the landscape that you would want to grow a soccer field. It's a lot of city and buildings, and it's a big city, man. Um, and we're in the heart of New Orleans. So
Okay.
to find a little piece of land is tough. So it was really important to get in the community, partner up with some local clubs. LA Fire was massive for us, LATDP. So then from there we were able to get some local talent as well. So really grateful that we made those relationships too.
And then your way of networking, right? That always helps you. Seems
Yeah, has to be. And people sometimes Gonzo, you're not shy. You speak to anyone, and I'm like, dude, that's a trait you have to work on.
yeah.
Being friends with people is a trait that people don't understand the power of. And it's not like I'm being fake to be friends with someone. It's part of my personality. But let's say you're a more reserved, shy person. I
Hmm.
would make an effort to speak to people
Yeah.
because that then helped me bring good players, then that helped us out of a field, then that helps us in different ways. And again, here in BG, I also think that we do a really good job in the community and people really support us here.
I never thought about the importance of networking until I started this podcast. And almost every single coach I've interviewed, they've always said, network, 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 network.
Right? Yeah, like while we were here, I've named so many different people,
Mhm.
right?
Yep. Yep.
That could be people that you and then invite here that will name other people and so on and so forth. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we're
Yep.
all trying to grow, man. It's all good fun.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. So as you look back on your journey, right? What's the most important lesson you learned about perseverance and resilience?
And I think it's really present in my life, not just in my coaching career. I think it's just in my life, really. I'm not afraid of no's. A really good story that we tell kids back home is that Cafu got told 10 times no, and
Okay.
he was the captain for Brazil and won a World Cup. So why should we say no, right?
Yep.
So he's a really positive example that I try to live by. Um, so definitely there's going to be hard moments. Moving around the country for myself was really challenging. This one was even more challenging. I'm going back to being an assistant. Now I'm going to have a kid, so there was a lot of unknowns. But we're staying focused and on track with our dreams and aspirations. So it's going to be some tough moments, but it'll be all right. This is when New Orleans plays a good part. Everything's going to be okay, coach.
A lesson learned right there, right?
Right? See, everything for a reason.
How has your same thing? You've evolved. You've coached from younger kids to college and progressed so much. How has your coaching philosophy evolved over time?
Um, when I had when I would picture a coach, I pictured a more of a dictator
Okay.
with the with years, right?
Hmm.
I evolved that. So you just asked me my coaching philosophy. My coaching philosophy has nothing to do with soccer.
Okay.
My coaching philosophy is also my life philosophy. Like I told you, my I coach, but I'm Gonzalo, and I just so happen to coach. So I was given a lot of opportunities through the sport. My coaching philosophy is that I want to provide that same opportunity to my players so they can accomplish lifelong lessons, values, and opportunities even higher than what I have.
Yeah.
So you ask me my coaching philosophy, it has nothing to do with the playing style. It has nothing to do with how you strike a ball. It has nothing to do with win or losing. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. It has to do with blessing people with opportunities the same way that I was through this really special sport. That's my, and then if I can win a game, I'd be really happy to. A trophy, I'd be really happy to. But that's the main reason.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Like I told my players, recently, like I want you to have opportunities. If you whatever your goal is, I want to help you reach that. You know.
Yeah, and we're facilitators, man. And I another thing I'd say to coaches is I like never underestimate the impact and power that you might have on a kid, man. Because just a small 30-second conversation after practice with that kid, that might change his life in a positive or in a negative way. And you just never know. So try to
Yeah.
stay on the side of things.
No, completely agree. We have a bigger impact, as coaches in the kid's life than we sometimes realize. You know, I remember something my coach said like 20 years ago.
That's right. Yeah. Like if it wasn't for my coach in Minnesota, I wouldn't be coaching right now. And I don't remember exactly what he said or what he did, but what he was doing was influencing me. And in this case, it was in a positive way.
Okay, has he been the biggest influence in your soccer career so far?
I think that he was the most important one.
Okay,
Um, and then there was people that came around along the journey that molded me, and I'm still being molded, right?
of course,
And I hope to always continue being molded. But I think that that was the first one.
the one that started everything pretty much for you.
First.
Yeah, like you mentioned before, coaching is a learning process. Every day you gotta learn something new. It's evolving. The game's always evolving.
And I think that as soon as you think that you know it all, then you lost it.
Yeah,
Like I'm talking to you right now, and if you ask me my opinion about a certain thing in the sport, I would tell you, but your answer to or your thoughts to my thoughts might change my thoughts.
yeah.
I'm okay doing that. And if you ever think you have all the answers, then you have none of the answers. If you never want to be challenged about your knowledge of not your knowledge, your ideas right now, if you don't want to, it also means that you're just afraid. And then you can have your preferences, but even your preferences, I think, can be challenged. I'm always wanting to be challenged, man.
No, I agree with you. I like the challenge, as well. So I don't mind. I'm open to it. What are your thoughts on United States hosting the World Cup in next year, actually?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there with a baby on that kangaroo thing,
Oh yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
the Argentina jersey. So I'm gonna rock this World Cup with the baby, and I don't know how it's gonna go, but we're gonna make it happen. I'm
So,
excited, though, man. Yeah, I'm
are you gonna go
excited.
watch games at the stadiums then?
I have to be there. I have to. There's
Oh
no way
yeah.
I'm not. We went to Copa America. I went to when Brazil was having the World Cup in 2014. I was also there, not in the stadium because I didn't have enough money to get into the stadium. I was on the outside of the stadium. It was fun time. It was probably more fun than on the stadium. Um, so yeah, no, we'll definitely try to make an appearance.
Who you gotta go watch though? Brazil, Argentina, or United States, or
All three. If you walk into my son's room, you know when when you get when you sign for a college and then they have the hats.
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
We have in our room the three soccer balls: Argentina
Okay.
ball, Brazil ball, United States. And then when he can start moving around, we're gonna put the three balls and wherever he runs is probably who's gonna score. So we'll try to make it to them all.
Is there one you're specifically hoping he picks one? Like, oh man, hopefully he goes for Argentina or is
I'd hope Argentina so you can support the same team while we're watching. I think that he's gonna have a soft spot for all of them, like I do. So
of course. Yeah, I mean, you're Argentina, you have family in Brazil, and then he lives in the United
yeah,
States, of course. Yeah,
gotta love it all.
yeah.
That's okay.
And then I don't know how far you are from Cincinnati, but the Club World Cup is also coming. They're gonna be playing in Cincinnati as well.
Are they really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I didn't know that. I was actually in Cincinnati last week recruiting for a club called Cup. We are 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Oh
Just
wow,
depends on
okay,
how much traffic though. But yeah,
okay.
I was in Cincinnati, yeah, the other day.
Yeah, a lot of the FIFA
I
World
didn't know
Cup is
that.
coming.
I did not know that it was there. That's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
probably
Chelsea's coming and other teams that coming.
gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely keep an eye on that. That's a close drive we gotta make.
Yeah, it's not too far, 2 hours away.
Right. Yeah.
Has there been a moment where you felt like just giving up on your soccer goals, your dream?
No, I just don't see myself doing anything else. So I don't think I would be able to. I don't think I'm even capable of going to do anything else right now. Like if I were to sit down and
Yeah.
do like an accounting, well, math is not my thing, so accounting definitely not. I don't know anything else. I'd be like, where do I start now? So I no, I don't see myself doing anything else but coaching.
If you had not done soccer, outside of soccer, you never played soccer, you never picked up a soccer ball, what would you have been doing right now?
I have absolutely no idea.
No idea.
Honestly, I have no idea, man. I really like music. I don't know. Music is really big back home as well in
Yeah,
Brazil.
because you guys have like the samba, right?
All that. So we did play around a little bit with that, just for fun with my
Okay.
friends and stuff. But probably not.
No.
I don't have an answer for it.
How would
Which
you
is bad.
define?
Which is bad. I should like other stuff.
Well, New Orleans has a Mardi Gras as well. That's like a big party, right?
It is, yeah. It's their carnival, right? Same carnival as back home. They have it here.
Oh, did you ever go out there?
I did not. I feel like
Didn't
after I came to America, I became boring. All I do is coach and come home.
get? Give me a quick second. I gotta look through my questions, see which ones I got asked. When you look back on your coaching career years from now, what do you hope people say about you?
Yeah. When I left Xavier, usually I just speak out of my heart, but on this one, I wanted to make sure I told people this, so I wrote it down. So I was crying in front of the boys and saying goodbye to them and all that stuff. I told them that I was thinking about talking about our wins and losses and how we turned around the program, but then I was also afraid if that was the first thing that came to mind, if they would only remember me as their coach. And I don't want that to be the case. I want them to remember about the barbecues that we had at my house more than the things that we did on the pitch. And then
Right.
obviously we had a lot of fun on the pitch, but I prefer for them to remember the hours that they would spend in my office just talking,
Yeah.
uh, just the laughs that we'd have before or after practice, maybe our fights at times or arguments, because later down the road those are funny as well. Um, so I would prefer that people remember me as a human being before they remember me as a coach, and then hopefully something good as a coach I did.
Which comes back to kind of like your philosophy, right? Part of being part of a family instead of just player coach relationship.
That's right. I mean, if we're here just to win games or lose games or all this, we're missing the point, man.
Okay.
Like, might as well go do something else. Like, wins or losses are important, but it should not be in my opinion, right? it should not be the driving force.
Absolutely. I agree with you completely there. What do you think is the most rewarding part of coaching that people usually don't see?
Um, the gratitude that the kids have after their career is done. We got
Okay.
an invitation to a wedding from a female player that I coached at Eastern because at Eastern I did men's and women's soccer on the second year. Um, they're inviting us to the wedding.
Wow. Okay.
Like, why would you remember me to go to your wedding?
Yeah.
So that just goes to show that, um, we did a good job as a human being before we did a good job as a coach. And I think that that's the most rewarding thing. It's kind of like when parents say if my kids want to hang around me after they're old, it's kind of the same thing. Do these people want me at their wedding when they're getting married? You know. So I think that that's really rewarding when they remember you in ways that are more special than just winning a game.
The impact you must have with these players, having having you invited you to their wedding, outside of the coaching, you've had a big impact on your players.
Yeah, I hope so. And I'm sure that I'm not perfect. And I also don't have the expectation of being perfect. Um, but I try my best. And I try my best to just be a good person. Um, I tell coaches often as well, like the decision you're gonna make is not gonna make everyone happy. But if it's a decision that you can sleep well at night with, that's the right decision.
Right.
Uh, and obviously don't be afraid to revisit decisions and try to educate yourself and better yourself. Um, but that's kind of how I see it, really.
Yeah. Oh, and it shows the impact you're having on your players because, again, go back to Oklahoma, you turned that program around. Xavier, you made a successful program right there. So the impact you're having on the players, it's massive.
Yeah, I hope they have good memories. I hope they do. They probably have some bad ones though. So we'll see which one stands out most. Time will tell.
What do you see yourself doing in 5, 10 years from now? I know you mentioned you want to coach Division 1, but is
Yeah.
that the ultimate goal, or do you go professional?
So I think my long-term goal, like you said, is to be a Division 1 head coach, and I hope that 5 to 10 years I'm already there and I'm established. I don't know if after I'm gonna want to pursue something else. It just depends how bored I'm gonna get, I guess.
Okay.
I feel challenged or not, to go do something else. Maybe at that point I want to focus more on settling and creating roots, which I haven't been able to yet. But I won't discard the professional thing. It's something that intrigues me, but not as much as not even close
Okay.
to college soccer.
In 5, 10 years, your son will be 5, 10 years. Are you gonna
Right?
be coaching him, or are you just gonna watch him from the side?
I'm gonna be like that picture of Messi and Suarez where they're just chilling and having
Just
some.
telling him.
I,
Oh
I
yeah.
might do that. Or depending on where we live, I might just be the best option for them. We'll see. Maybe he'll hate me if I coach him. I don't know.
Do you scream a lot during the game, or are you just like not so
I have
much?
this
Or would you scream at him more?
I probably would. Um, I have this like love-hate relationship. I will communicate with my players in a really passionate, sometimes angry tone, but because I have a good relationship with them, they know that I'm coming from a good place. But
Okay.
I am quite passionate on the sideline.
Are you?
Yeah,
So is
I
that how
think
you be with your son as well?
maybe more. So I'm not sure. We'll
I
see. Time
I
will
hear
tell.
it's harder to coach your own kids
I have heard
than
that.
a regular.
Yeah, I have heard that. We'll see. We'll see first if he wants to play soccer. We'll do that first.
Yeah, yeah. Um, if you were standing right now in front of Gonzalo Carranza, 12-year-old Gonzalo, what advice would you give him?
Keep having fun. Keep dreaming. Keep working hard. Don't be afraid of no's. Be yourself. I always say that. Like the inner child in me, I think is still really present. And I think that sometimes when we grow in this business, or we even grow as adults, we forget about it.
Yeah,
And I never forget to have a laugh. So that's what I would tell him. I'd tell him, be yourself. Continue being yourself.
like we were talking about Ronaldinho, right, earlier.
Right. Be yourself, right? Enjoy
Yeah, yeah.
yourself. I do that. I think I do that. So
um, Where can people know more about you?
And if it's more for recruiting purposes, asking about our program specifically, that'd probably be through my work email, gcaran@bgsu.edu. If it's more like I'd like some advice on a personal level, trying to grow as a coach, networking, stuff like that. I think Instagram and Facebook are probably my better
Okay.
ones. Instagram is Coach Carranza. If I'm not mistaken, if you put Coach Carranza on Facebook, it showed up as well. But Gonzalo Carranza is probably quite unique name here in America, so it should show up too.
Okay. Any last advice you would give to our audience?
If I were to leave anyone with anything, I think I'd tie it back to what I just told you on be yourself. Don't be afraid of no's. Be willing to grind and work to accomplish your dreams. Um, it's a journey though, man. Find your passion and pursue it. Whatever that passion is. Don't be afraid of the hurdles. They're a part of the process. There's something bigger for you. I actually posted something on my social media. I only really use it for work. So I posted something on my social media. Um, when I go like to, for example, like if you go to like a fast food, like to McDonald's at 2 a.m.
Mhm.
and the person that's working at that time there, they don't want to be there.
Yeah, of
No one
course.
wants to be there. But if that person is going above and beyond to do a good job, I always make sure to go to them and say, man, I don't know what your dream job is, but just keep doing what you're doing because something's going to come from this. We were at the hospital doing the ultrasound the other day, and there was a guy at the cafeteria working. And this guy, you would have thought that I was the president of the United States the way he was treating me. So I walked away, but then I was thinking, I was like, what's your dream job? And he told me what his dream job was. I was like, I don't know how you're gonna get it, but continue what you're doing because these little things will make it happen. So what I'd say is when no one's looking, when you're the water boy in your coaching career, give it 100%. Something bigger is in stock. So it'll pay off.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. When nobody's looking, that's the person, right?
That's right. Those are true colors.
Yeah. So the next couple questions I got for you, Gonzalo, are just funny questions.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. What's the most embarrassing song you sing in the shower to get pumped up before a game?
That's a good song. That's a good question. I'm liking Teddy Swims, you know. I
Which one?
really like Brazilian music, but I
Oh,
like
okay.
Teddy Swims now, and he
Uh-huh.
has a lose control thing. I really like it.
Okay,
So I
okay.
really like
That one that gets you pumped up before a game, right
that. Now I think so.
now. Okay. My next one is if you were a chicken, would you prefer to wear soccer cleats or ballet shoes?
Soccer cleats. I don't know what I'd do with ballet cleats.
Okay. If you were a giant pink unicorn, how would you celebrate a soccer victory?
Jumping around.
That's it?
Jumping around, man.
And the last one I got for you is if you were a giant walking piece of pizza, how would you deliver soccer balls to players on the field?
I wonder if like the top part is better than the bottom part because it's a bigger surface. So like if we teach the kids to side volley rather than hit the ball with their foot like this,
Yeah.
I'd smack the top part and deliver a ball.
No, you would be the pizza.
I know. That's what
Oh,
I'm
okay,
saying.
okay, okay, okay.
I'll go with the top part.
That's all the
That's,
questions I got,
that's an interesting
Coach
one.
Gonzalo. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend, for having me. Hopefully people had fun with us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just have an outro that I'm gonna read, and then we'll sign out. All right. As we wrap up this episode from the Field Voice of Football, we're reminded that the beautiful game is so much more than just a game. It's a journey of discovery, perseverance, and triumph. Gonzalo Carranza's story is a testament to the power of passion, dedication, and hard work. So, to all the young players, coaches, and dreamers out there, remember that your love for soccer can take you places you never thought. Keep chasing your dream and never give up on the dream. Thank you so much, Gonzalo, for coming on and sharing your journey with me.
That was a brilliant closing, my friend. Thank you for having me. And again, hopefully everyone had fun with us.
Absolutely, I
Passions
agree.
things. Passion and knowledge, that's our goal. Stories unfold, let's take control. From the field we rise, let the voices be heard.